Hey everybody, it's Funny here once again. Hope you are doing well today. I am rambling about the ALM 6U 52 HP. I believe it's called the Performance Case. It is a Eurorack case. It's going to be a bit of a weird one. I know there's not so much to say about Eurorack cases, but I figured I'd like to cover this because I think cases actually are kind of an interesting thing to talk about. And then in the second half of the video, I want to talk about what I want to put in this thing. I'm doing a big re-rack lately, both of the main case and this one, so I'll talk about that as well. But I think first we'll just switch the format up a little bit and get talking about this thing out of the way. What is it? 6U 52 HP. I really like the size. I think I like the perfect square idea. This is perfect square. 6U 52 HP, basically same on all four sides. If I could take any case size, if I was to sell a case of my own, I guess I would do 7U with a 1U row in the middle. And 62 HP, so it's just like a little wider, but basically taking the square and making it, that much bigger. But this comes very close to being that, and I really like the size. I feel like this is a sweet size. Now, I'll say there is a DIY version as well. This was the factory assembled one. I bought this new off a local retailer. Silver good. There's a scientific take for you. I really like silver cases. Black's nice too, but I don't know. People who are insistent on getting black and won't do silver, I say why I really like silver. I was hoping to just demonstrate some sort of build quality things on this to you too, that like the aluminum is really nice. This button is that variety, if that makes any sense. But I don't know if this was to be DIY, but there's a little bit of play in the back of the case, which is something I never saw in the IntelliGel cases, and I want to demonstrate here. Hopefully you can see this. Like this back plate kind of moves, and if you're a stickler for build quality, for trim level, which isn't me, but I understand there are many Eurorack enjoyers, musicians out there that are. This has a little bit of play, which I thought was bizarre. I really didn't expect it. Like this back plate can like move, and you can see it's marked up the sides of the case a little bit for it, so just bear that in mind if you're a super stickler. But the metal itself is really nice. Sometimes when I see like this beautiful nice aluminum that Eurorack loves to cover in black paint, as gothic as that sounds saying out loud, that makes it sound cooler than it is in my mind. I just like the super polished silver. Looks sick. But that being said, I want to make a comparison to the IntelliGel cases because I think this is a really nice size. But again, this one is deeper overall. However, because the PSU has to go right against the backboard with no offset or the vertical mounting of it, you actually get like, it's super narrow, especially in special spots like here, like right up against there. You really don't get a lot of depth there. So keep that in mind, that the depth of the case doesn't span across both rows. How's that? Just keep that in mind. But there's no 5-volt rail, so keep that in mind as well. When it comes to a portable case like this, I don't find I have any 5-volt modules that I put in here that I would really be concerned about it. Heck, I don't even have a 5-volt rail in my big case anymore, which is a headache on that front, but not a headache on this one. And yeah, I don't know what else there's to say beyond that. It comes with, or at least mine came with, one of those, I think the 4MS one is the flying bus board, but this one, it came with one of those little daisy chain things to turn the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, turns the 9 into like 13, I think it was 4. But yeah, just keep in mind the power situation on this one for sure. Fits the standard Eurorack power input, so if you just, like keep one power supply around and then jump through all the little portable cases from that, it's nice because they're all universal, they're all 15 volts, and they all jump in there. So yeah, this is that one. They also make a deck saver for it, but it is like absurdly expensive. I mean, this thing wasn't cheap either, but the deck saver I was looking at, like it was like $200 Canadian to bring it in, and like, yeah, I get there's a lot of value in that very custom, very niche piece of plastic, but I don't know if $200 is something I'm willing to pay for it, but I'd love to pick that up at some point someday. Sweet case. I think it's time to step away and fill it up with modules. I just want to say that the idea behind this, I'm playing the Vancouver Modular Meet next one. Everybody's doing 12-minute sets in April, and I thought it'd be fun to load this up and do that. But there's also the other reason is, if you've been following the channel, you know there's the Forcing My Fiance to Learn Eurorack Videos series in all of their different capacities and all of their different subjects. I think since switching to this big case, both in, I don't know, like physically sitting both of us down at it, big case being the Monster Case by Erica Sins, I think it's hard to get her to sit down at this beast. It's more confusing, and it's hard to like physically seat the two of us at it, whereas this one we can just like throw on the desk and huddle around it. So I want to make something that both her and I can jam on, me for that meet I'm going to, and just her on the daily. So we're basically going to make another modular groove box, and so let's transition over to that part now. Okay, we're back with the loaded case. I'm going to go through all of the different modules and then talk about why I chose them, patch it up, and then we'll send you out of here, I guess is the word. Basically, the brains of the operation here is going to be the WMD Metron. Great sequencer, great trigger sequencer. Also has CV options with the Voltaire expander, which I'm using. Right now, I'm not using its internal clock. We're going to clock it with the Bloom. Sorry, that's the input. This is the output. Clock in. Because I think it can be helpful, at least for my fiance, to have an encoder for the clock, just to not get any confusing divisions. Because I think when we first started out, we were doing sequences at like 80 or like 300 BPM, and I was like, well, it's not technically that. It's anyway, just avoid all that confusion by making Bloom the master clock, and then we don't have to worry about any weird intricacies like that. It's just right on the panel, right with the knob. And then we have Clep Diaz, partially, just honestly, there's 4 HP to fill. But I do want to try and impart some modulation stuff onto her at some point, and it's a nice modulation source that fits the bill and fits the 4 HP. And then super compact, we have the mix. I put these little encoder caps on because our Europal Sean gave me them. I think this will just maybe help. They look cool for me and for my fiance. I think they'll just help distinguish the two different modules. But yeah, there's the mix in the one, and the teal is the DSP. And then you'll see I've pre-patched the outputs of this. There is, just heading to my interface, but you'll see there is HPO by ALM. I flip it upside down because if I do end up using that for something, and I probably will need to use that in the live performance I do eventually, but just puts these Eurorack connectors side by side, and then puts the headphone jack closer to the power connector, which is on the top right now. So that's the bottom row, and I did talk a little bit about the Bloom, but let's go into the top. There's Surface, physical modeling. I think it's just like a full synth voice like that is really good for beginners, for my fiance, and for me. I just love how it sounds, and it can be super versatile. It's fun to CV scan or modulate the model input, just to like completely wackify the sound. And then if something like this, and both choosing the Metron kind of speaks to that, is like doing drum voices, drum sequencing, a drum focused rack. Surface can be a great melodic voice, but then it also is like lots of great drum models in there. Qubit Bloom, which is sort of a quantizer, sort of a generative sequencer, 2 channels. It really grew on me. The first time I had it, I didn't really like it, and then the second time around, my fiance really liked it, and I really like it this time around too. I don't know, the simplicity of it. Maybe at the time I just wanted something deeper, and now I kind of appreciate the simplicity of it, but it's really easy to just like grab at it and get to in sync channels of basically arpeggios, usually is my use for it, but I don't know, and that can be evolving through use of the branches and the mutation parameters, like the Bloom a lot. MCO Mark II, I really like this voice. It's really compact, but I find in the big case I'm kind of reaching for other stuff. I'd rather just, like, I don't know, grab an oscillator and patch up all the different pieces, like an oscillator, filter, VCA, all of that other different stuff. But in a small case where you can kind of put your face closer to this little screen, this thing's great. So hard to think of a better place for it than in the rig that we're looking at right now. I am considering putting 2 flats clones in here because it would make the tuning easy, and they probably have the widest range of any module. But we'll see. For now, I don't have two. I only have one, and this is a nice setup. And then the other quote-unquote brains of the operation, Bitbox Micro, awesome sample module. It's probably not the assimilator levels of good, but it is smaller, it is a lot cheaper, it is a great sampler. And I think drum synthesis is probably not something that my fiance is too concerned with, and I think this gives a fun and easy way to switch up your entire drum sounds, not just one, by going through the presets. And then she's even built some presets on here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Quine. This is her. 4 samples, 4 one-shots, but still, I think that's a fun piece of learning about music stuff. So let's patch it up and let's hear it. So we got the clock going from the Bloom into the Metron. I don't know if I'm even going to use the Volterra right now. I will do a Metron video at some point, I promise, but there's like a lot of depth here that's kind of made me avoid it, and I don't not appreciate that. I like the Metron, I like its workflow, but I just feel like when I get into the Metron video, I need to talk about all the different things. I'm going to lay 4 on the floor here. You'll notice we're just sending trig into the surface. I want to, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to use Bloom for our melodic voices, and I think I'm going to do MCO as well. But let's lay 4 on the floor into Bitbox. You see that's going. We need output. I hope this one's set up on 1, and then you're going to probably hear this straight away. Yep. There you go. I will put this back into my mix and run that back into the DSP. So DSP Bit Crusher is like my favorite effect. I don't know if this will actually be appropriate, but I keep wanting to sell this DSP, and then I come back in here and I'm just like, yes. So that's that. We'll make it totally dry for now. This is CR78 samples, if my memory serves. We got 4 on the floor. Maybe we'll just bring that clock up a little bit. Bring in some cymbals. Oh, we're getting techno. I didn't mean to, but we're going to anyway. I probably would choose shorter cables, but this video is way too long already, and I think we can pop in some snares. And then we'll bring in some hats. I know that's another thing that needs to be covered in the Metron video, is the probability, because I would love to do that, but I just don't know how to do it at the moment, so we will eventually learn. But bring that other cymbal in. That's kind of long decay on the ride sample, so we'll make it a little more sparse. Yeah, we got techno. I don't think the drums need to be super complicated for this for now, but I do want to make use of the Bloom, so let's take the output of this one, and maybe we'll run that into the volt per octave of the MCO, and patch in the output to our mixer. And I don't think, for tuning simplicity, maybe we'll just go to my favorite mode on the MCO Mark II, which is the Roland JP8000 emulation. This thing is awesome. We have those pitches going in, but not a gate, so we'll hit the trig going in, and we should hear it now, I believe, but I might have to turn it up. Yes. Down octave. See, another thing I love about the MCO Mark II, that part is so easy. No need for another outboard quantizer too. Dear Lord, it really does everything, which I think makes it great for this case. Do I want chord mode? I think that unison was actually pretty good. Let's go back to octave. Octave was good. Sorry. I know I didn't change anything, but hey, we're gonna explore the parameters real quick. Oh, super saw all the way. Retune it a little more. Interesting graphic that isn't changing. Maybe it doesn't really sound any different either, so maybe. There we go. That was why. Yes. Notch. Let's go. Let's do our envelope. Yeah. And yeah, most straightforward patch ever, but I just wanted to show us quick this one. Let's throw a reverb on there. I think it's carpal strong delay. Where's the reverbs at? Sorry, just cranking it all the way up so we can dial it in. My good buddy Matt was complaining about the reverb on the DSP, and I'm really liking it. Almost have a little shimmer. Whoa. Blend that ever though. Let's get that little space in the background. I really like that. Yeah. And then there's some rolls on here. Well, that's the mutes. This is the rolls. Drop. Yeah. I don't know, maybe we'll try out the Surface for fun. I don't want to get into the tuning interest. I don't want to get into tuning it just yet, so let's just throw it on there quick. Oh, that's fun. I think that's a snare, actually, isn't it? There's almost a performance thing of switching models on that too, hey? Okay, bring it in more. Maybe I'll make it monophonic. Go back to the snare. Bring in my drums. Switch my voice. And go. Yeah. Fill effects. Yeah. Hey, I think this will be a lot of fun for both of us. So, I'm Tafony. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, like, subscribe, do all of that crap that YouTube is always on my case about not promoting to you.